All right. So, Joao, now that the podcast is going, that means it's time to put your phone away. Right. I know it's tough.
Bro, I want to do like Joe Rogan, whatever guys say, I make sure.
Oh, no,
research.
You're not the Jamie.
I research and
you're the primary guest of today. Because really, this is just the Joao Assis episode.
That's it. I'm just sitting here for to pretty up the crew.
Yeah, I like it. You got your good side showing. No, but we tried to do, what have we tried? 2 times? 3 times?
Maybe more.
And it just keeps falling through. So we said, you know what? We're doing a fucking podcast this time.
One day we probably drank too much. The other day we probably ate too much.
And then we
finally got to do it. The hardware is now working. The sound table.
My Roadcaster took a shit. So
and I'm here because you literally said every time we're together we're going to do a podcast because the people apparently
they kind of like you.
Like having
I don't know why.
I don't know why either.
But honestly. They kind of like.
I'm not really much of a value add.
I like him. I don't know. But I like
yeah. So we're down in New Orleans. I always say that right now.
New Orleans, yeah.
Because my first trip down here, I was saying New Orleans.
Yeah.
And people got upset about that.
Yeah.
So I guess if you're from here, that's offensive.
Yeah, New Orleans. Just let it flow. I wanted to punch a pilot on a recent airline trip because he was saying Nolans.
So that's too much.
That's way too much.
Too much of a southern draw.
Tell him, dude, just fucking say New Orleans. How hard is it?
You could have went up and said it.
You don't say Nah York. You say fucking New York.
Yeah, but you're not in the fucking dirty South in New York.
Depends where you're from.
Yeah.
You're in the dirty North.
So yeah, our Guns and Gis Camp #2 starts tonight.
Tonight, yeah. In brief, tonight at the Academy.
And we fucking have, what do we have? 20 people?
I think we got about 20 people for this one. Yep. I like it because we got some women coming out this time, which is pretty awesome. Some of the girls are getting into the mix. I really want to get their thoughts on things. You know, women need to be warriors. We need to bring back the days of the Viking women, where when the men are away, fucking fighting battles, the women can take care of.
Like Lagertha.
Yeah.
You remember Lagertha?
Not really, but I know the name.
Oh, you don't watch Vikings?
No.
Oh man,
I never watched
Vikings.
I don't watch TV, bro.
You're the one that told me to watch Black Sails.
I did but that was when I used to watch TV.
Yeah.
That was a badass series, though.
No, Black Sails. I don't know. I mean, Charles Vane made Black Sails.
Oh, he's fucking bad.
Let's be serious.
Yeah.
I became a fanboy of Charles Vane.
Zach McGowan.
Yeah.
Is that his real name? Yeah.
And you go follow him on Instagram,
Yeah.
and he's actually a savage in real life, too.
Zach McGowan should actually be following this podcast and listening to it.
That's right,
I'm
dude.
just saying.
But no, the whole point of the whole series of Black Sails, spoiler alert, it's so he can get home to his gay lover. Remember that?
But
remember that?
His gay lover was killed. Wasn't his gay lover killed?
No.
And not Charles Vane, but...
oh, so you didn't finish the series then?
But you know
I
that.
did, but it was a long
you know
time
the plot
ago.
since day one, or
No.
you have to wait till the end.
And I block all the gay shit
out.
out. I forget about it.
Yeah,
Those
no.
guys looking
So,
for-
dude, they're savage pirates, raping and pillaging and just fucking doing what pirates do.
They're fucking
right?
pirating.
And dude, it's an easy show to fall in love with. You're like, dude, I wish I was on a fucking boat.
Yeah.
Like fucking traveling around the world, taking what I want, killing who I want. But then at the end of it was like 4 seasons or something. There was a guy that he fell in love with, like
Captain
in
Flint.
in his youth.
It's totally fine, bro. Some guys
Hey.
go back to the dog. Some guys go back to the wife.
Let's go back to the dude.
And he reunited with him at the end. He wasn't dead. It was a myth.
Oh, I don't remember that. That was a long time ago since I watched.
See,
the
you
whole
blocked
series,
out the
though.
bad shit.
Luke, are we getting comms on mine? Oh yeah, I can see it coming up. All right, cool.
Dude, don't worry about.
He walked over there all concerned, man. And Luke's like our Jamie. He's watching.
All right,
shit.
all right. So, Joao,
Here we go.
we want this episode to be about what it was like growing up in Brazil.
Sounds good,
and then the fucking journey that brought you to America. Because it's a cool fucking journey, man.
Yeah, bro. It's one of those. I think nowadays in Jiu Jitsu happens more often, than used to. But it's one of those American dream. Came with nothing from the third world, and came here and saw how cool, how nice is this place, and the people, right? Because without the people, you cannot stay and stuff. So at the end of the day, I met a lot of good people in my journey that made it possible, you know. And yeah, bro, the last 13 years being a movie, you know, like a movie, ups and downs, plot twists all the time, you know, amazing things, happy moments, sad times too, you know, a lot of struggle, but you know, the good mix that make a good story.
So you were tell them where you're from. Like, so you're not from a big city in Brazil. You're from Porto Alegre, yeah?
Actually, let's say every state has its own big city, right? So I'm from the big city from my state,
Okay.
but that doesn't make like one of the biggest cities on the country. You know what I mean? Like Brazil is pretty much the axle, Rio, São Paulo, and I'm come from the extreme south, so I'm not into that axle, you know. Actually, when I was younger, in order to look for more training, to better training, you know, I had to move to those cities. But I come from Porto Alegre, which is this city on the south. It's a great place too, but back in the day, jiu-jitsu was not so big, you know, and when you wanted to look for better training, bigger academies, you know, bigger teams that could support you, like on the long run, you had to move to other places, you know. So when I was like 18, I ended up going to Rio, living there for a while, training at Brazilian Top Team, which at that moment was the best team in the world, you know. Like for us Brazilians, it was all about Brazilian Top Team and shoot the box, right? So that time we had like Vanderlei Silva, you have Arona, you have Big Nog, Little Nog, Zé Sperry, Murilo Bustamante, all the shoot the box guys like Vanderlei Silva, Pelé, all those old school dudes, you know. And I was there. I was 18 years old, training among the beasts, you know, bro. I have seen like classic trainings, you know, like Paulo Filho against Mario Sperry, Arona, all those guys, you know. When you were 18, seeing those guys going back and forth from Japan, fighting pride and being the biggest thing in the world, that was huge for me, you know, bro. I didn't notice at the moment, but nowadays I look back, I'm like, wow, bro, look where I'm being, you know. It's crazy.
Dude, Ricardo Arona was the man.
Well, it's still, bro. Nobody ever scored on 1 point on him on ADCC, you know. So still, bro. He's retired. He's not fighting, but it's a monster. And even though like you see like his Instagram, he's still the same thing, you know, like jacked. Up, like badass, you know. And I had the opportunity to train with those guys, you know, like back in the day. And bro, that was. Like I said, I didn't notice by the time, but nowadays I look back, I'm like, wow, bro.
Yeah, awesome environment.
Amazing.
Was Mario Sperry like? Was that his team? Was he at the top of it?
Actually, the head coaches were Mario Sperry and Murilo Bustamante.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
You know, so those are the guys on the mat. Had more guys like head guys, but the guys on the mat teaching the professors, the coach, the head coaches were them both, Mario Sperry and Murilo Bustamante. So you know, that's just by the gauge of these guys, you can see how training was. You know?
Yeah. How old were you when you started jiu-jitsu?
Man, I really started when I was like 16, but it took me like a couple of years till I got into a good gym with a good teacher, like a professional guy, you know, and go, you know. But since 16, I was in love for jiu-jitsu, for the whole MMA thing. Back in the day, it was Vale Tudo.
Yeah.
You know, and at 16, I started. Like around 17, I found a good gym, a good teacher that put me on the right track. And little by little, I gained room, I gained space, and started traveling and learning more and getting good fighting and getting more opportunities. You know, like just like the old way. You know, like you fight, you win. People want to see you. You keep winning. At some point, you make things happen. You know.
What was I'm gonna fuck this up, but you told me the story about like all the kids in the neighborhood, and there was like one kid that was tough, and he trained, right?
No, actually, this kid, he didn't train, but he had friends that trained jiu-jitsu, right? So at this point, he only knew a guillotine, right?
One move. But you're the king if you know one move, bro.
And one time we were doing this barbecue, right, in some of my friends' house. end up that we start like, hey, let's fight, right? Everybody wants to fight, so you line up, and we did like a King of the Hill, and this kid finished the whole neighborhood with the guillotine. The only move he knew, you know.
But that was your introduction to jiu-jitsu.
That was
then?
when I felt the power of like, wow, dude. I have seen like Rice Gracie on TV, and I remember that I couldn't understand how the guy fight, you know, because back in the day, you were used to like Mike Tyson, right?
Yeah.
So fight for you would be like punches on the face, somebody dropping, that was it, right? And then you see Rice Gracie doing the opposite, you know, not punching, just in a different style that was crazy. Because I remember him principally on the ground, bro. I thinking like, man, what he's doing, you know, like why he grabs the guy and he drags to the ground. And after a while, the guys pass out. You know what I mean, bro? It's like for me, I couldn't understand the mechanics. You know, it's like, dude,
Nobody could. That's why it looked like magic.
He's on bottom, and the guy pass out. You know what I mean? It was like magic. You know, like at the first time I was like, oh my god, the guy died. You know, and then no, he didn't. And then like, okay, but what is that magic? No, it's the fight. So you start learning those things, you know. And when you're 12, it doesn't enter your head. You know, you kind of magic, right? I want to be like that. And then little by little, then one day this kid on your neighbor finish everybody and say, oh, that's jiu-jitsu. I'm like, what? You know, and little by little, the curiosity, you know, instills, and you go after. I remember looking on the yellow page, looking for a gym, bro. You know.
Oh, so they had yellow pages in Brazil too, huh?
Of course, bro, everywhere. Back in the day, remember the 80s, 90s, bro. All you had was like yellow pages.
Yellow
And that was
Yeah.
it, you know, encyclopedias and
No
shit.
Yelp.
So you just
No,
found
Yelp.
whatever was available in Porto Alegre.
So yeah, basically end up looking for this school. I end up actually, bro. My first teacher, the first time I entered a school, was a Taekwondo school, and the guy would teach Muay Thai, because I have seen this article about shoot box, the Muay Thai guys in Brazil, and they were killing it. And I was like, oh my god, and I have to learn that. So when I start in the gym, somebody go like, man, you have to train MMA, vale tudo, right? And I'm like, all right, but in order to do that, I have to learn jiu-jitsu, right? I never been in a jiu-jitsu academy, and that's how my interest started happening, you know. And when I see, I was walking around with the jiu-jitsu guys, you know, and one of these guys said like, hey man, I'm gonna bring you to a real place, and that was my introduction. That was like first glance of love, you know, like first time. Bro, love it. And crazy enough, bro, I never been good in sports, you know, like everything I tried, I sucked. That's the truth. So I was pretty athletic, but I wasn't accurate. I think that's how I can say that, because, bro, you know, in Brazil, it's all about soccer, you know, like you're a kid, you're a boy, bro, you're playing soccer from day one. And, you know, everybody's dream is to be a soccer player and make money and all the thing. I think today it feels more like rappers do that, right? Everybody want to be a rapper and make the money, come from the bottom and this and that. But, you know, man, I never been good. I was always the guy, the last one to be called, the guy on the goalkeeper. And then, bro, when I step on jiu-jitsu, on the mats the first time, that was like, I did right. I just did right, you know? And the guys on the mat look at me and it's like, bro, you're good, bro. Don't stop. And that was the first time somebody said that. And I'm like, all right, if I'm good, I'm going to stay, you know? And naturally, everything happened, you know? Like, of course, I wasn't there sitting and waiting, you know? I was trying to make things work. I just want to be good, you know? I mean, I just want to be good. At some point, I didn't want my friends to train more than me because, you know,
you want them to get better than you, man. No.
I want to be better, you know.
Yeah.
And that, I think, was my biggest push for is just being around the guys, and everybody wants to train more than each other, and that it made everybody better, you know.
I think a lot of Americans think every Brazilian trains jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Is it big? I mean, it's from Brazil, but is it big in Brazil? Or is it kind of similar to
Okay,
here?
so let's put down this legend, right? Bro, in Brazil, jiu-jitsu is big. I mean, every city has, but not everybody trains. You know, it's the same thing you say like, oh man, in America everybody plays American football.
Yeah.
Which everybody knows. It's the culture and everything, but not everybody plays, you know, like every 20 people you find 1 or 2 guys that play, you know, like, and the same in Brazil, you know. Also Brazil had this little bias towards jiu-jitsu, you know. Jiu-jitsu for a very long time was a bad thing, you know, like they used to face you as a brawler, not as a fighter,
okay.
you know. So in Brazil you don't have this culture of the respect, the samurai thing, you know, just inside the gym. But let's say you're when you leave the gym and go home, your mom says like, hey, go find a job, stop training that much, you know what I mean? So it doesn't have the culture towards the sport, towards the fighting sports are different in Brazil, you know, so you don't get the credits. And that's why you see a lot of people, the best guys in Brazil, end up leaving the country because you don't have the recognition, you don't have the money, you don't have the business doesn't work the same way, you know, like, and actually in Brazil, jiu-jitsu became a very cheap sport, you know, because it just happened, you know.
What do you mean by cheap?
Cheap? It's if you teach jiu-jitsu, you cannot charge very much.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Yeah.
so it's hard to make the business happen, you know, and that's where I think why Brazilians have to leave the country, open a gym somewhere else, because the recognition, the status that jiu-jitsu give you everywhere else, you don't get in Brazil. You know,
Well,
it's crazy, but you don't get it. You know.
You bring up an interesting point saying like the culture looked at Brazilian jiu-jitsu guys as like brawlers.
Yeah.
Because I know like now that jiu-jitsu is pretty mainstream, a lot of people talk about how they gain like camaraderie and respect and like all the good aspects of it. But in the beginning of jiu-jitsu, guys are just going around and fucking dudes up, right?
Yes, bro.
Fucking full on dojo storms.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Yeah, that's something that happened. Like, so here's the story of jiu-jitsu. You know, jiu-jitsu back in the day when the Gracies start, it was very for the elite, right? It was an expensive sport, and although the politicians would do, like playboys would do, you know, like people with money, and it was not for everybody, you know. But then what happened is the jiu-jitsu started growing, and all these teachers, the professors who were teaching, they were all day teaching white belts, right? And they want to train. So little by little, they start meeting afterwards, after hours, right, on the mat, and start doing the instructors training. So that's how it started the hard training, the Shark Tanks, right? So of course, little by little, that was just for the instructors, the black belts. But little by little, you know, the brown belts like, hey man, can I jump in? You know, and like, guys, you know, like you start adding people, and then you at some point you have this true jiu-jitsu happen. You know, like the jiu-jitsu for the students and the jiu-jitsu for the instructors, right? But and that's how it goes. But what happened is, bro, it started growing so much, and then like people start opening gyms, right? So every blue belt start opening a gym here and there and start getting close to their teachers, right? To the professor's gym. And what happened is they start charging less, you know? So at some point you have like 10 academies, like blue belt academies charging cheap and one black belt charging the right price, right? What happened is, you know, people
don't know.
People
They
don't know. So
better.
they like, well, between this and that,
It's
basically
cheap.
jiu-jitsu is jiu-jitsu,
Yeah.
right? So I go on the cheaper way. And that's when broke the business in Brazil, you know, like, and that's when you cannot charge that much, you know what I mean? And that's where the business start getting hard. You know, it's hard to live of
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu in Brazil. I think nowadays it changed a little bit because you know, jiu-jitsu became very mainstream, and I think it's a bad thing for even for the students, for the clientele, right? That, bro, how can jiu-jitsu be so good, so profitable, so valued all over the world, but in Brazil, it's the
home.
roots.
Yeah,
you
the
know,
roots of it,
like
yeah.
I mean, I don't gonna come back in a time. I know Japan is the roots, but you know, what you do today is not the Japanese thing.
Right.
You know, it's starting in Brazil. What you do today, so that's when the business side start breaking. You know, also because people start training basically everywhere, and the guys lost the elite thing. So basically, on these academies, people start going. They start basically that's where they start the Shark Tanks. You know what I mean? So at some point, you lost the philosophy of the self defense. You lost the not the hierarchy, but you lost a little bit. You know what I mean? And then basically every academy became a Shark Tank.
It was all about rolling sparring.
Exactly,
yeah.
bro. So jiu-jitsu became from like elite sport, which were very, very carefully taught,
Yeah.
to this hard thing, you know, which
Do you think that's good though?
no, I think that was a little out of control, and jiu-jitsu became the hard thing. So when people talk about jiu-jitsu, people go, "Ah, no, I don't want to do it because it's too hard." You know, like I
Oh,
know guys
yeah.
that do, and they're always, you know, injured, and they are tough. I don't want to cauliflower and this and that. And I think that's where like stop a little bit, you know, on the business side of jiu-jitsu, you know, because right now what happened is you have this hard thing, you know, to do, which you have to be a tough dude to do, you know. So that ran away with girls, ran away with just normal guys who want to be
Yeah.
tough, you know, they are not yet, you know, or the kids. So if you see the difference from Brazil and America, right? That's I'm very very familiar with, is like jiu-jitsu in Brazil don't have, it's jiu-jitsu for kids in Brazil is almost zero, you know, almost zero. And then you have like tough guys, tough girls doing, right? I think in America now you have like every kids doing, right? Woman do, because I think when it came to America, it changed a little bit. It became a little easier, not so hard, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? So it can pull more people into that pool, right?
Yeah.
And that's where it became very popular, you know. So nowadays jiu-jitsu is for everybody.
Yeah.
you
Well,
know?
and I remember when we drove back from Idaho together, we talked about that for hours because it wasn't that long ago down at your academy when I was there. It was like to the death.
Bro, so
Every single
that's-
night is like
Totally.
Charles and Sid and Miles, like a handful of tough guys
Yeah.
just beating the fuck out of each other.
And I was, me too, because
Yeah.
I was training with two guys to fight ADCC and
Yep.
fight the Jiu-Jitsu World Championships on the next weekend and stuff like that.
When
And
I
it was-
started my academy, I followed that mindset
Yeah.
and had a team, like grew a team of 15 guys that are tough, and it's hard training, but the gym can't stay open
Exactly.
with
That's-
15
that's the
guys.
point, yeah.
But then one thing that you said to me that was like made a lot of sense is like, we're not selling watered down jiu-jitsu. We're just training in a manner that makes jiu-jitsu for everybody.
Yeah.
And it also you kind of cater the class to those individuals, you know, like, you know, last night is a good example. We had basically 40 people on the mat. Out of that 40, maybe 5 or 6 are like
Killers.
you know, that are competing. And it's like, hey guys, go drill fast, hard, you know, and they'll pair up with their appropriate training partners and fucking go, you know, drilling, killing each other in the rounds. And the rest, our job is still there to teach them jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
They'll never probably do jiu-jitsu at the same level as that killer that wants to go be a Pans or world's champion, but doesn't mean that they can't do jiu-jitsu.
But I think a big key is creating a vibe where the guys that want to go hard can go hard, but the other people that don't
They're not pressured into
are
it.
comfortable.
Absolutely.
Like I had a guy come and check my gym out when we were new, and he did a class or two, and then I never saw him again. Yeah. And then like I don't even remember how I heard, but from a friend that knew that guy goes, I was the only guy up there without a 6-pack. Like I wasn't going back up there.
Because of my ab routine.
The Lapin abs, right? See,
I don't do an ab
If he'd
routine,
waited a
folks.
couple of years, he could come train with me. And now I don't have a six pack either. We could be fat buddies together. No, but seriously, it's a culture thing. Like, if everybody's jacked and everybody's going as hard as they can, and then, like you said, a normal guy from Boeing wants to try jiu-jitsu because he's listened to it on a podcast, that's an intimidating environment. And like, I feel like you can create a welcoming environment that is open for people like that to come and train while simultaneously having hard
and
training.
maintaining the standard of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, of course.
For all the things that people, dislike or talk badly about IBJJF, International Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Federation, they're doing a good job of maintaining a standard. They really are. Because just the same thing, blue belts opening up academies. I'm a blue belt I was a blue belt that opened an academy, but I had a professor, and like
but that's
we maintained, we maintained the standard.
You open the gym as a
I was the
entrepreneur.
owner. That's
entrepreneur,
it.
right?
I was an entrepreneur.
Right?
Exactly.
But what happened in Brazil? No, nobody was investing money.
Right.
People were like killing each other, and that's when it became hard. You bring a girl, you want to teach self-defense, but she have to jump into the shark tank, bro. That girl is not coming back.
Yeah.
And I noticed that when my team broke, because eventually every team gonna break. Sorry guys, but
yeah, that's life.
As the guys get higher up, they're gonna go their own way.
It become like jiu-jitsu make people very confident, and they sometimes wrongly they think they can go alone, their own way, and that's not bad. But you have to keep your tribe, you have to keep that stream, and so you of course you want to go further, but where you come from, and you're not burning those bridges.
Every one of us started as a white belt, and our businesses survive on white belts. And look, that's not disparaging saying that's how you start, right? You get into jiu-jitsu, you start as a white belt. Last night, we had 4 brown belts. We had 4 brown belts, 2 purple belts, half a dozen to 10 blue belts, and then the rest, and then 20 something white belts.
Yeah.
And that's the gym's business. Because I know for you guys as well, like when someone signs up at my academy, and maybe it's a little selfish, but at the same time, I know what jiu-jitsu does for people. I want them to train forever. I want the person that walks in the door that signs up, gets their gi, gets their white belt. I want that belt to be black one day. Exactly. Now, if it's under me, cool. That means they just stayed.
Yeah.
If they've moved away to another state and they keep training under someone else, it's not like, oh, you need to be a black belt under me. It's not about me. It's about them. You just want
to continue the journey.
It's about them doing jiu-jitsu at whatever level they can do it at. It's individual. I had a 64-year-old on the mat last night, and I've got 20-something-year-old competitive guys, that are pro fighters and stuff. They're never going to be the same, but you still got to maintain that standard for a 64-year-old. I'm not just going to give them a belt. But you said it, man. Last time I was here, I rolled with Ed, and I was like, "Holy shit!"
It surprised me.
Yeah, no, and that's what I think. I think the evolution is make a class that serve both public, right? Like say, bro, you have killers and you have white belts, but last night's class was great for everybody.
Yep.
Right. Everybody learned something. Everybody felt like a little hard at some point, kind of easy at some point, when they're drilling. But when it was time to do the King of the Hill, right, bro, shit goes hard. You know what I mean? So, I think
on my side of the academy, they were just coming out of the middle of the line, like who's next? Who wasn't rotating properly.
Yeah.
Started to give me a little bit of anxiety.
They're just jumping out like, fuck it, I want in.
I want some.
Hey, roger that, initiative, man.
So at the end of the day, I think like the biggest evolution for jiu-jitsu was come back and take care of the white belts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that was something that happened to me. Like I was talking, like this thing happened to me when my team broke. Right, my best guys, my competitors left.
You're saying at Electric?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it was crazy, bro. Because like at some point I was doing my thing, training, everything, and then I got hurt, and then I have to stop training, bro, because I got my neck jacked, and I felt like many things happened together. I got separated. I had to stop training, stop fighting. Some guys got like, but hurt for any reasons, and for many reasons, and everything happens together, bro. When I saw I had like 10, 15 students, like, and I was alone, basically almost alone, and the way I used to do the hard train, the shark thing, wasn't making money for me anymore, right? So I had to change something. I had to learn how to do the thing, and that's when I started looking for and researching, and I was really really into change my vibe, change my style, and find the fine tune, and that's when I figured out that I had to take care of my white belts. So one day they would be my black belts, you know what I mean? Because I was taking care of the blue belts, the purple belts. I didn't remember a lot about the white belts at the time, right? So I wouldn't teach them the day one, right? I would just, hey guys, come jump in. I would get like some blue, purple belt. Hey man, teach this and that, and if the guys stay good, let me train.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah,
So there are plenty of nights when we'd be like, all right, man, let's roll.
Yeah,
and that would be the
let's
night.
have fun, right?
Yeah.
So I think that was the biggest change, bro. I think after that, I figured out that I had to take care of my white belts, and everything would work from that point on. And actually, it happened exactly that way, And I started taking care of the white belts. Train didn't become worse, then it becomes right, Like it was not too hard on the beginning, right? So the white belt could come in, enjoy, have some fun, don't feel so hard on the body, and then come back. That was what I want,
Yeah.
It's like Greg said, I don't want the guy to go there for 1 month or two. I want the guy there to keep jiu-jitsu in his life forever. And also this is one of the old school thoughts, right? Like, oh no, man, if you start with me, you have to end up with me.
Yeah. Or you're a
crianche.
Don't be a
That's so wrong.
Yeah.
Today, if I can put jiu-jitsu in somebody's life, that's my goal. I don't care where the guy gonna train. If gonna train me, great. But if not, great too. As long keep jiu-jitsu, bro. And that's when I figured out that my mission was not be a world champion. That was too small. You know what I mean? My mission was spread jiu-jitsu, and that's huge. Because that may change the world as we see nowadays.
Oh, absolutely,
You know what I mean,
bro? I just got a post. There was a post on Facebook. A guy that I just had kind of a brief interaction with. I went up to Kansas City and taught a class to some of their SWAT guys up in Kansas City, and he was up there working for the manufacturer that we were demoing some of their gear. And he had gotten out of the military, he was injured, and we started talking about jiu-jitsu one night. I met this dude like for 3 nights. We like stayed together while we were at the course, and he just got his blue belt. And he's like, bro, thank you so much.
So you planted the seed.
And he's like, dude, thank you so much for having that talk with me. But he was out of shape, and he was overweight. And now, dude, the dude's a killer. He's just got his blue belt. He's like, dude, but I agree. Like, to me, like that's the best thing that could happen right now.
So you're saying, when you say like, now that you're growing the gym and giving people jiu-jitsu, and that's what it's all about, like you reached the pinnacle of jiu-jitsu on the other side of the fence too,
right?
Being 7-time world champion.
Yeah. What belts?
So I started fighting world championships on the blue belt, which I didn't make any medal or anything. On the purple belt, I started doing really good because I have to stay many years on the purple belt. I always miss the belt promotion there.
Yeah.
And I thought like, who cares?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
And I was just, having fun, bro. I never care, like about the belts. But end up that on the purple belt, I got so long that I got really good, So I won twice the world championship on the purple belt. I won on the gi, and then brown belt I won once, no gi, and then on a black belt 5 times. No, 3 times, sorry. 3 times on the black belt. And then I won ADCC, which is the
that's like the
biggest
Olympics.
thing.
Of no-gi.
ADCC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Abu Dhabi Combat Club. That's
I
like the
remember when you won
Olympics.
that.
So just
Fucking
for
stoked,
if people don't know what's ADCC, or even if you know but you don't understand why it's huge, I'm gonna just a quick brief here on the ADCC history. Bro, back in the day, this dude show up at this gym, right? And he had his driver, right? So the rich dude, and the driver start training jiu-jitsu. And they stick with jiu-jitsu, they like it, right? And one day they left, they stopped training. Right?
That was Sheikh.
Tanoum, Sheikh Tanoum.
Yeah, Sheikh Tanoum.
Sheikh Tanoum bin Zayed. Well, one day, just the driver comes back to talk to the professor, right? And at the end of the day, the driver was not a driver. The driver was a sheikh from Abu Dhabi, right? The guy that all right, shit works, shit's amazing, and he wants to bring to his country. So that's basically what happened. You know, he started this Abu Dhabi Combat Club, which stands for ADCC, and he started giving big prizes for the champions. You know, so he put all together wrestling, sambo, jiu-jitsu, judo, all guys from all over the world, and made this happen, you know. So I think that's why it's so hard when people fight ADCC. ADCC means go hard, you know. Like honestly, are the nicest fights. It's the nicest show to watch because the dudes go hard, bro. Shits that happen in ADCC don't happen anywhere else.
Where did that happen? Where he started training and fell in love with
I
jiu-jitsu?
think it was New York.
Okay.
You know, and well, they evolve, you know, to the point where Abu Dhabi, actually the Emirates, the whole Emirates, put jiu-jitsu on their military base and their schools, all military bases and schools.
Law enforcement, police academies,
law enforcement, everything, bro. So the countries, the country military and police have the jiu-jitsu culture on them. You
for
know?
promotions and everything.
And everything, bro. It's crazy, and that's probably it helps to make that country so cool, so moving forward as it is, right? Nobody has problems with UAE, right? Everybody loves Abu Dhabi. Going there is cool as fuck. It's always big tournaments, not just jiu-jitsu. Big things happen there, you know, and they deserve it, you know, man. It's a nice place with great culture, you know, and they add more good things to their culture, such as jiu-jitsu, you know.
And you see it in the culture. There's actual cultural shift, you know, because I lived out there for 4 years.
You started training in Abu Dhabi, right?
I restarted training in Abu Dhabi. I trained, you know, started training here.
In Abu Dhabi started your love for jiu-jitsu.
My love, yeah. Abu Dhabi started
Before
my
it was
love.
just jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, it was
right?
just jiu-jitsu. It
The
was just something I
garage.
did, and I did mostly no-gi. I was a cop, you know, but never fell in love with the culture, right? Because there wasn't a huge culture where I was training at, you know? And, you know, I worked for the military in Abu Dhabi, for the UAE military, the Emirates military, and they have their own thing, UAE-JJF,
Right, yeah.
right? Instead of IBJJF or UAE-JJF.
Actually, I got a UAE gi
Oh, yeah.
a couple days ago. One of my
nice.
students.
Does it have the eagle with the flag colors?
Not
on
that
the-
one,
Yeah,
but it
yeah,
has
yeah.
a big UAE
Nice.
JJ
Yeah.
on the chest.
But
It's
the
really cool
younger
gi.
generation, the generation that's like 15 to 20 years old, man, they're good dudes. They got hard work ethic. They're more physically fit.
Totally.
Yeah.
The generation that's like 10 to 15 years older than them, so 30 to like 40 years old, man, they're entitled, they're lazy, they're out of shape.
They're
overweight.
Americans then.
No, like they're really, really rich. Like, you know, it's worse.
Okay, yeah.
Out of shape part, yes.
Yeah.
Like, they're worse. But yeah, the jiu-jitsu, you know, especially in the schools, PE is jiu-jitsu.
That's fucking rad, dude.
And it's changed the culture, man.
Just a last note here on the changing the vibe from that Shark Tank killers to a gym where you can have everybody, right? It's funny because like I have so many cops training at the gym nowadays because of Greg, of course, and the podcast. And it's really cool, bro, because I have many cop women training with me, you know. And this week, one of the girls came to me and was like, "Hey, man, I have to use jiu-jitsu this week." And I'm like, wow, how was it? And she's like, it was ridiculous, easy, was zero stress, was so easy to put a bigger guy, a dude, right? There's a girl talking, right? Put a bigger dude down and hold him so easily. And I wonder, like, a few months ago, how it would be, right? It would be like so hard,
Yeah.
right? So stressful. Who knows what could happen, right?
Yeah.
And now it's just like hot knife on the butter, right? And it's crazy because when these cops talk about like, hey, you know, where are you training? I train electric. All the other cops have trained with me before. It goes like, oh man, electric is so hard. And they're like, no, actually, it's fine. You know, it's just right. It's just like, it's the right amount, you know. But those cops got the old days, you know,
The
like the
old
Shark
days.
Tank
Yeah,
days,
yeah, yeah,
you know,
yeah.
before the change.
The ADCC Joao.
Yeah.
You won when? 2013, right?
2013, yeah.
Buchecha won his division that year too, right?
No, he won 15.
15?
Yes.
So I remember one time. I'm going to throw Buchecha under the bus here. Remember his...
No, maybe yes. Maybe he won that year too.
I think he did.
Yeah, he won. I won under 99.
Do I need to look it up?
No. I told you, so here's the deal. I won under 99. Buchecha won over 99.
And
Cyborg beat him on the final.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So did you get...
Cyborg winning the absolute.
Did you get one of those big checks?
Yes.
Okay. So, yeah. So Buchecha won that year then.
Yeah.
Because... And I mean... Well, you guys were winning like 30 grand or something, right? Wasn't it?
That's for the absolute.
That's
for
okay.
the division was 10.
10. But still, IBJJF back then wasn't paying a dime.
Yeah.
If you were a grappler and you wanted to make money, ADCC was where you went.
Yeah.
And it was after practice, and Buchecha opens the. Remember that old Honda he had? It was like a little. I don't.
CRV was
CRV,
it?
Yeah.
the red one.
Dude, it's this little bug. It's like way too small for
Yeah,
him,
it's
right?
a little tiny like
And
SUV, and
he
Buchecha's-
opens up his back hatch to throw some stuff in there, and I see his ADCC check, and it's one of those giant checks, just crumpled into a ball and like thrown behind the seat, and I'm like, bro, what the fuck is this, dude? Oh man, that's my check when I won ADCC. I'm like, why is it crumpled in this thing should be framed on your wall, dude,
right, yeah.
you know? And he goes, oh man, I was worried that the customs would see how much money I made, so I shoved it in my pants.
Yeah, man. I think it's one of those cases like when you do big things, but you're just doing your thing. You don't notice how big it is, and then you don't care.
Yeah.
And after a few years, you're like, oh,
Damn, that should be framed on my wall.
I should frame some shit, no memorabilia stuff. That's important, bro. Nowadays, I feel like that, you know, like.
Do you have your giant ADCC check somewhere?
I don't, man.
Man.
But I have the medal. That's the best.
Yeah.
Part, you know.
So
and also, I'm glad, bro, that I won the year I won because it's a beautiful medal. You know, like couple.
Are they kind of shit now?
No, bro. None. I don't want to talk shit about it.
I know.
Because it's a great
kidding.
show, but couple years later. No,
No more Rolexes.
no, man. I didn't get the time where they give like diamonds and Rolexes and like those Bedouin knives.
I may or may not have one of those.
You know, with precious metals and gems and stuff.
Yeah, bro. Money's not even a thing for
Bro,
them. Like
right now, it's not the best paying show, you know, but it's the most prestigious
Yeah.
show for sure, man. I mean, it's like
well, I remember one of the sheikhs came over here, and the marshal service did his security detail because they do all the judicial security details for the federal government. And at the end of the detail, and I didn't do this, I didn't work this detail, but one of my buddies told me about it. It was a 16-man detail. It was a big detail. At the end of the detail, the sheikh like asked everybody to come out front of the hotel and had 16 beamers lined up. He's like, one for each of you. Like, sorry, we can't accept gifts more than $25. And so, dude, I was like, dude, if I was a deputy on that detail, I would have fucking turned my badge in and took the beamer.
There you go.
You know?
Here's my creds. Here's my gun.
Yeah. But bro, you just to say thanks, you can go buy 16 beamers. That's a different kind of fucking rich, dude.
Yeah, it's crazy.
it's another culture.
Yeah.
You know, bro, they give a lot. It's crazy. They give a
So,
lot.
question. So when, at what point, what age what rank, where were you when you finally came to the U.S. for the first time?
So I was purple belt.
You're purple
I was
belt?
purple belt. I was living in São Paulo at this point, training at Brasa Jiu Jitsu, which was Leo's academy, Leo Vieira, right? It was not even Checkmate didn't exist, and I left. Back in the day, I was in Rio. Then I came back to South, where I'm from, and then at some point I went to São Paulo looking for training because at that point, shift. The jiu-jitsu, the mecca of jiu-jitsu was in Rio anymore, like back in the day. The mecca of jiu-jitsu was in São Paulo because São Paulo has this different pace. It's faster. Business happen there. It's the money. It's like New York here in America, right? And then all the better teams, all the people who was winning were training in São Paulo. Fortunately, when I got there, I was living like 10 minutes away from Leo's gym, right? So I automatically ended up training with Leo, and that was crazy, bro, because like most of the big teams you have nowadays, it was in one place. Brasa had all the Zenith, all Checkmate, all Atos, and all the Brasa, because Brasa still exists, right? So all these 4 teams that nowadays are like some of the top teams were one
all
thing
in
at
one.
some point. Yeah. And bro, I have been on amazing training sessions, like with Drysdale, Mendes Brothers, Galvão, Leo, Lucas Leite, all these dudes, like that nowadays they run different teams. They were on the same mats, bro. And it was crazy, like everyday training. And that's when I think I really got into the higher level, because training with Leo and training at Brasa with all those guys made the difference, like that was another good time I had. Like I wasn't on the mat with all those dudes, So on the purple belt, I really got like into at purple belt I started like finishing black belts, right? Not the best ones, but I started like bumping heads with black belts, and that's when I got into the higher level, and after that, another year or so, I got my brown belt, and on the brown belt I won Pan Am's Absolute and No-Gi Worlds, and then I got my black belt. My brown belt was pretty quick, but
Did you come to America then before you came up here for the Dan Henderson camp? Or was that your initial time?
I came a few times to fight the tournament. So,
okay.
You come, then you leave, then you come again, and next time you have friends, right?
And you say, I like
it. So, man, and then like, you have friends, and then they know you, and they know who you are, right? So let's say the first couple times I came to America was a purple belt, and then I won, right? And then the next time I'm brown belt, and I keep winning. And then at some point people go like, hey man, like stay, And in 2008, I came to fight as a brown belt, and I won No-Gi Worlds, just finishing footlocks, everybody. I almost finished every single body, but at the finals, I won. Yeah, basically was it. I finished everybody on a footlock, and then I just lost on the final because I was disqualified. I was DQ'd for some reason that the referee couldn't explain. Actually, he had like 3 different explanations, which sounds weird. But anyways, the guy I was staying in his house, he had good connections with Dan Henderson, right? And then Dan Henderson was going to fight Paul Harris, the footlocker, right? And Dan Henderson needs somebody to train footlocks. So I was there, coming from a good campaign on the Worlds, and then I ended up in Temecula, helping the Henderson. Once he won the fight, he fought, defended the footlocks pretty well. He came back, signed my check, and I'm like, man, I want to stay, right? It's the best opportunity of my fight career. I would like to try, And he was totally fine with that. So he gave me my first visa. He changed my visa from tourist to athlete visa. He gave me my first car, signed my first apartment, helped me co-rent, right? So at the end of the day, that's how I stayed. Then Henderson made everything happen, and here I am. 13 years later.
That's fucking rad. Are you still homies with Dan Henderson?
Man, not homies because he's a star, right? He's a superstar. It's hard to reach him all the time, but I have a great relationship with him because the process to get the citizenship takes years,
Yeah.
right? And you have what they call the sponsor. There have to be somebody behind you, giving you the signing your papers, getting the responsibility for you, right? And I stayed at Team Quest training with him like for a couple of years, but after 6-7 years, he was still being my sponsor, signing my papers and everything, So I think I left a good impression, left the gym, but didn't burn any bridges, kept a good relationship with him. He helped me till the end,
Yeah.
Nowadays I'm about to get citizenship.
Oh,
my record is fine,
So you haven't been through you didn't go to your naturalization ceremony yet?
No, yeah.
Those are,
We're
I'm
going
gonna
out.
call
We
you
gotta
guys.
go
I'm
out
gonna
there.
call. Don't worry, you guys gonna be there.
Yeah, we gotta when he gets it.
I've been to a lot of them
We gotta
because
go out there when he gets his.
so a naturalization ceremony, if you've never been to one, there's a federal judge that administers it, right? So Marshal Service oversees the security of those ceremonies. So I've been in a lot of them.
But it's crazy, bro.
They're really,
I can't
really,
wait to do, bro.
they're really, really cool.
I can't wait.
That's
to
all
do
I'll say.
Because it's funny, bro. Because on the beginning, when I came and the Henderson changed my passport, my girlfriend at the time, she was pregnant, right? So she in order to keep her in America, basically I had the papers, right? So I had to marry her in order to stay here because I want the baby to stay around.
Yeah.
And then we got married, right, bro? It's so funny because I didn't speak English by the time. So I have no idea what I said to the judge. I have to repeat whatever the judge says.
Yeah.
And bro, it was so funny because I
See, your marriage should be annulled on that
I
alone.
didn't know what I was doing. Right?
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was saying.
I didn't understand.
But end up good. It was a 13 years marriage, was really cool. End up, unfortunately, but we keep good friends. We have our daughter, which are our treasure, and everybody's still in America and living the dream.
Yeah.
Living the American dream.
So, dude, I want to ask you about that because you say like in the jiu-jitsu world, once you make like a certain level of competitor, people come to America because that's where the money's at. That's where the dream's at.
Pretty much.
But is that jiu-jitsu people, or do a lot of do people have a lot of pride in being Brazilian and living in Brazil, or do a lot of people want to move to America outside of the jiu-jitsu culture?
I think so, bro. I think so. Yeah, America is the dreamland, right, man? It has this. I think jiu-jitsu is just a way to make it happen, But I don't think somebody wants to live in America. Then, I want to live in America and start doing jiu-jitsu. I think it's like, you're doing good in jiu-jitsu. What's the options you have?
Yeah.
Right. You can stay in Brazil or you can go away. Right. Where are the tournaments? Right. It's in America. So in order to have some notoriety, you're gonna have to fight the tournaments and show up. Right. It's still old school, in jiu-jitsu. In order to get your reputation up, to get your name and everything, you have to beat up dudes, bro. There's no other, it doesn't matter what you say, it doesn't matter where you come from, doesn't matter how you look like, you have to beat up dudes, period.
You got to be winning
Yeah,
adult division, IBJJF
you have to be
matches.
solid, bro, And of course, you have solid dudes, you know nowadays how it is, bro. You have solid kids,
Yeah.
Kids that train all day, they don't have nothing to do but school and jiu-jitsu. And at the end of the day, bro, they are pros, They're just kids having fun, but they train as pros, like any other. I don't even know if pros train as much as those kids, right? And then you have like this tough kids nowadays, like very young kids, beating up people pretty bad, and it's nice to see because they have so much talent, they train so much, and their jiu-jitsu is in such a high level, it's crazy.
Yeah. But outside of jiu-jitsu,
It's still, bro. I think there's
a lot of people want to get out of Brazil.
Across the walls, right? Jump out.
Well, no, that's what I'm like. That's why I'm asking these questions, because you hear about like corruption, political corruption, the fucking favelas, and like
that
Brazil seems to have like a lot of shitty aspects
That's
to
a
it,
lot of problems,
for lack of a
yes.
better term, but everywhere has their shitty aspects,
Yes.
and then everywhere has their good
But-
aspects too.
But that's the point where I think like you're asking like people are proud. Yes, we are proud of being Brazilians, but not because we come from is a different pride than Americans, right?
Uh-huh.
It's Americans is more like, bro, you come from the best country in the world, right?
Well, that's what I was gonna ask. Do
you
other
have
countries say
you
that
have
too?
fought wars, you have saved the world, right?
Yeah.
In Brazil, we don't have that vibe. Our vibe is like, well, we are Brazilians, we are fucked, we come from the shit hole, and I want to win in life, right? But the pride is like, bro, I come from a place where I don't have opportunities. You know, if I'm just a regular guy, I don't gonna make it. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
being regular, you don't gonna go big. You know, you're gonna be regular. You're gonna, pay your rent, pay your bills, and live life. But like, you're proud when you come from a place who doesn't give you any opportunities and you win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the pride comes from, bro, I came from a fucked up place. I came from, many times people come from favelas, from very poor places, and they make it, all right? And then I think that you come from a hard place that doesn't give you opportunity, but make you strong, make you tough. That's something to be proud. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think the pride you see in Brazilians, it's because, we come from a place where it's amazing, it's beautiful, but the politics make a harder place to live. You know what I mean?
Which is probably true for everywhere.
Yeah, but we are proud about like our where we come from. Our culture is really cool.
Yeah.
Right. We are proud of our woman.
Yeah.
Right. We consider our woman very beautiful. The Brazilian woman is something different. Like people say like Latinas. Well, Brazilian women are not Latinas. Brazilian women, Latinas are Latinas. There's the difference. I don't know if you guys know, but
I don't know, but now I do.
Yeah, you don't wanna experience.
Well, I can't experience.
Yeah, maybe one. I don't know.
Sorry.
Well, dude, like, we always talk about Americans having a lot of pride, but let's say a guy from Seattle won the UFC title, and he did a little parade around Seattle. No one would go. No one would give a shit.
Yeah.
So
that's exactly
like, dude, Charles, did you see Charles Oliveira?
Exactly, bro. Charles is exactly the example where I'm saying that dude came from zero, bro. That dude, his parents used to pick recyclables on the trash. Like dude was like poor, bro. Like really. I don't know him personally, but I know who he is because I have friends a little younger than me that fought him very, very many times in tournaments, right? And what my friends say is like, dude, that dude is hard as fuck, but not because he trains a lot, because where he comes from, you have to be hard as fuck. Otherwise, you don't make it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he has that extra toughness,
that grit.
Yeah, the grit. Exactly. That's the grit. And when you make it to that point where there is nothing above you, right? It's like UFC world champion. Nothing can be bigger than that, right? You're proud as fuck to look back. It's like, bro, I had everything to go wrong. Look at me. You know what I mean?
So then when he takes that back to Brazil, that's like a symbol for everybody.
And it's crazy because if you see the fireman truck.
Yeah, that's what I was watching.
Bro, the fireman truck couldn't go inside his community because his community doesn't have streets. So the truck had to stop on the beginning of his community, and the whole community comes to the truck.
Yeah.
It's crazy from the favela, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's no streets on the favela. It's like all like mud. And the such a big truck cannot go in. And the whole favela comes down to see him and celebrate him. And that's like like I don't see better feeling than be recognized by your community.
Yeah. It's fucking awesome.
Crazy, yeah.
But dude, you saw the same thing with Francis Ngannou when he went back to, I think it's Cameroon where he's from. And the streets are just going crazy.
That's exactly what I was thinking about the other day. It's like crazy to see how like these people that come from the worst, right? From third world countries, slums, make it to the highest level. You know what I mean, bro? And this is something that's happening a lot lately. You
Yeah.
know, bro, these guys or they fight, you know, there's no other vibe there's no other thoughts in their minds, you know.
Yeah,
bro.
but that's part of the problem with American culture nowadays is, you know, and who says it, but it's like, where else in the world can you go where really, really poor people are overweight?
Yeah. And have iPhones.
Yeah, and have smartphones, you know,
Yeah.
like, and, you know, like, we don't, even our poor people here in the U.S. compared to poor people elsewhere in the world, because we've all been to other areas of the world, live like fucking kings.
Yeah.
And they have no idea how good they have it.
Exactly.
You know?
And because of that, they complain. And I think that's
Well, bro,
why. You know?
no,
Like,
that's-
you have no idea how good is the place you are, so you complain, right?
Yeah.
But because we have been everywhere and we know what's good, what's bad, and we come back here, you're like, wow, bro, this is the place.
You don't have to fucking walk down to the community water pump to pump water and carry a fucking bucket of it on your head back to your village.
While now crocodiles are
Yeah,
waiting.
while fucking, you know,
Yeah,
like,
or there, and you don't
Dude.
have, and like you don't have to respond to the drug traffic, right? You're not under the drug traffic here. You know what
Yeah.
I mean, bro? That's huge in Brazil. Like you have like traffickers, like drug dealers, running the favelas, running the cities.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, bro? And
But bro, I mean,
that's make everything harder.
we could do a whole nother podcast on this alone, but all of the adversity that those people face on a daily basis, that's why they're so happy.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like, I fucking made it. I'm here.
No, bro,
Another day.
Just being
Ano-
alive.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
it's a
Another day.
It's a reason to celebrate.
And like,
know?
I gave my daughter that exact, because she was talking about the other day how she's feeling sad, right? And she's 12, so hormones are kicking in. I'm like, well, what are you sad about? And she's like, I don't know. I can't put my finger on it, you know? And I said, I think you're sad. And of course, I know I'm the crazy dad because you haven't been challenging yourself enough and you haven't been facing hardship and adversity. Maybe you need to do more jiu-jitsu. Maybe we need to go out and do some hard hikes. You need to put your mind and your body through some adversity, and what you're going to find is that gives you happiness. And so dude, it's funny you said that about the water, because I gave her that exact same example. I was like, you know, you can walk up to the fridge and put the cup under the water dispenser, and I'm mad that it comes out at a bad angle. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I bitched you, but I'm like, and I told her, I
damn
said,
it, it's too cold.
I said, this fucking water dispenser in our fridge shoots the water out at a 45-degree angle instead of 90, and it splashes all over the place, you know? And I said, we're mad about that kind of stuff.
Bro, I feel
Meanwhile,
it pisses me off too. We have the same fridge.
yeah, I know. I know, right? The two Gregs have the same fridge. It's hilarious. But then if you can fucking detach from that, and that's exactly what I said to her. I said, well, I suppose there's some people that have to walk a mile with a bucket on their head and dip it in the river very cautiously, because at any time a fucking crocodile can jump out and rip your arm off. Yeah. And it's like, those people are probably less upset about how they get water than how I am.
Right.
You know?
And we're not talking like way in the past. We're talking about today.
Right.
Like,
That's what I said.
the
That's what I said.
fuck
I said
now.
right now, you know?
And that's why I think like all of these like really super privileged kids here, people here, go fucking live in another country for a month or so.
But
See
bro,
how the
it's
rest of the world.
But it's also it's an ongoing thing, right? Because we've seen hardship, we've experienced hardship, so that gives us perspective. But we're fucking super privileged too.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
100%.
it's like, it's just like your fitness or your mental health. It's something you have to consistently chip away at.
Yeah.
And I think perspective, it's good to go and experience some fucked up cultures, some fucked
bro,
up,
struggle,
you know?
struggle builds you up, you know? Like,
Yeah.
Struggle makes you, like, I always say to the guys, bro, you know, like sometimes the guys like, oh man, I want to compete and stuff. And you know, you always want to make easier so you get like less stress, you know? And I tell the guys like, look, I think stress is good. Stress gonna build you up, you know? And it's like, why? Because bro, it's easy to live in California, wake up, drive 10 minutes and fight a world championship, right? But imagine if you are in a third world country, saving every penny to buy a ticket, right?
Yeah.
And then you come to America, you fight the tournaments, you come to America, you get the visa, which is a challenge in Brazil, right, bro? It's a challenge to get a visa to America, right? and you're gonna fight that guy. You're gonna fight that guy that came from a struggle, right? And the other day, bro, and I told the guys, I was like, look, guys, I'm not scared of the guy that looking all clean and blah, blah, blah. I'm scared of that guy has pictures selling candy on the traffic lights, and now he's here.
Like Husamal Paul Harris.
Exactly, bro. He has nothing to lose. And crazy, one of the girls from our team, we were all checkmate, right? Mayara Custodio.
Yeah.
So this girl, she lives on the same building I live. And bro, the other day she posted a picture of her selling candy on the light traffic like a year ago in Brazil to make the money to buy the tickets to come fight in America.
Yeah.
This chick is killing it right now. She made it, bro. She sold candy on the traffic lights, and now she's the top 2 or 3 of her division, bro, in the world. You know, living in California, living the dream. You know what I mean, bro? It's crazy to see that. That's what I tell the guys. Like, bro, I understand that you want comfort and this and that, but being struggle a little bit is good too. You know what I mean? Make you harder. You know, like,
bro, it's everything.
You have nothing to lose.
Struggle,
you know?
and danger.
Exactly.
Being in danger makes you a better person.
Yeah.
You know, when you get too comfortable with things and you don't have to worry about your survival or your health or your wellness,
Exactly.
you know, it's like,
Bro, what I think is facing danger, adversity, struggle, all that stuff has been such a hardwired part of the human existence from the beginning of time, right? That if we don't have it, we miss it.
well, and we don't have it now.
And so, but bro, because we don't have it, what do you start to see?
Right.
Mental health, depression, because I don't have any external problems, so I build them inside myself.
When you don't
right?
have problems, you start what you do. You start complaining.
That's what I'm saying.
Right?
You build the
when
problems.
you don't have problems, you start complaining
So
about
if you don't,
good things. You know?
if you don't have
My internet's too
external,
slow.
you don't have external problems, you build them internal. You know, that's
Right,
a fucking,
like-
it's a crazy thing.
like
that's
the angle of the water coming from
yeah,
your
like
fish.
that, bro. That's what I was saying. Like, I'm
that's
not a
serious
fucking,
shit, man. That's
I'm not
serious
immune to that either. You know, and it's funny though because like I'll get pissed about stupid shit like my coffee's wrong at Starbucks. You know, and I used to say like, hey, if I'm paying first world prices, I expect first world fucking service. But at the same time, yeah, they fucked your coffee up. So what? Right? Like,
Just do your goddamn job good. Right?
well, yeah, and there's two sides to it too, because if someone's just an idiot and they keep fucking things up, but at the same time, it's like, it's a non-issue.
Oh, it's really not.
It's a non-issue.
Absolutely.
You know, there's 1 billion people right now. There's probably 4 billion people on planet Earth that would wish that the worst part of their day was a bad fucking order at Starbucks.
Yeah. As we sit in, what is this? What do you think this is? A 6,000 square foot house?
A haunted mansion.
5,000, 6,000 square feet? Probably
Dude.
close to it.
Dude,
As we
I love
sit in
this
a-
house.
in a
I love,
empty
well, bro, and I'm the first to admit I don't have struggle. Like my life is easy, and like sure I deal with what everybody deals with, raising your kids and trying to make sure your business is making money. But at the end of the day, we have it fucking good. That's why we roll hard. That's why I sit in ice. That's why I sit in the sauna. That's why we do the things that we do to try and stay grounded a little bit and put yourself through that struggle. Because without it, you become a fat, weak, whining bitch.
But this is now. Remember the day you were building yourself to be who you are now, right?
Yeah.
How much struggle, how much violence, how much aggressivity you have to go through to become this cool dude now, right? Because some people, when you were there struggling and becoming who you are, some people are complaining and expecting to be who you are right now, but not do what you did.
Not put the work
Just complaining and fighting for their rights by screaming, whining,
Yeah.
So that's the thing is, bro, like that first struggle that made who you are, like that violent dude back in the day, right? The hard motherfucker. And that builds you to the point where you don't need to be like that anymore.
Yeah.
Right? Now you're an older guy, you're calm, you have the experience, you know what takes to be violent. You know the results are violence, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so nowadays, because we are who you are, because of those days back in the day, you can handle things easily without that much. You know what I mean?
But even our struggles through like combat and deployments and military stuff, like I was raised in a nice household with good parents, and my father was pretty well off. Like, I feel like going into the military, because, dude, when I went into the military, I didn't have a plan. I was just like, you know what? What's the hardest thing you have? I just want to do hard shit. And it was and looking back on it now, it was probably a result of having such an easy life.
Right.
You know? And so I was like, all right, let's do this, let's do that, and just do a bunch of hard shit. And then before you know it, you're on a rooftop in Ramadi with dudes shooting at you. You know? It's fucking crazy how it all happens.
Well, I think it's funny too that, you know, we've sought this all out in our lives, and we're all entrepreneurs now.
Yeah.
Too, because that is its own level of struggle.
Oh, it is, for sure.
And there were the very first couple of years of the academy, like, I was sick to my stomach a lot of times, whether I was going to be able to support my family or not.
Yep.
And I'm not out of the woods.
Middle of the night,
like, couldn't sleep, heart pumping.
Bro, I've said this before. Financial problems put more cortisol through my veins than a near ambush.
Oh, hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if some dude starts shooting at you, it's like, okay.
I know how to address that.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Where
You
there's
shoot back, right?
Yeah,
Somebody
yeah,
shooting you,
yeah.
you
Yeah,
shoot back.
you can
fire
maneuver,
superiority. Get fire superiority.
On the real life, you cannot shoot back, bro.
Yeah, you're fucked,
You have to
right?
dodge those shit and handle, right?
And look, they're rooftop and Ramadi guys shooting it. All right, it's me and you.
Yeah.
All right, we're taking care of each other. Here, if I can't make my mortgage,
You got a bunch of people relying on you.
Yeah, or buy food, it's my kids and my wife.
Exactly.
If it was just me, cool, man. I'd be sleeping on the futon in my academy, you know?
I love sleeping at your academy.
Yeah, dude. I'd be living there, you know? Like, I would live there, but it ain't just us, man. We got
Exactly.
families, dude.
But I've also realized, at least for me, and my guess is this applies to you guys as well, is I came to a realization, especially after like how my life changed last year. I can't work for other people. No. I can't have other people tell me where to be, what to do, how to act, what to wear. Like, I've arrived at a point where it's like, I'm going to do my own thing. And if you don't like it, go fuck yourself. Yeah. But you can't arrive at that point unless you can make it all work, right?
Yeah.
Because it's easy to say, like, I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want, but doing whatever the fuck you want, if it doesn't generate revenue and it can't feed your family, guess what? You're going to go back and start driving for Amazon or something.
So then becomes a wrong choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. And there is a small circle, and we've talked about, there's a small circle, like, that I could work for some of my buddies.
Yeah.
That I'm very close, because I know we share the same values. And like kind of we were saying today, like, if I had a job or a gig and I was like, hey guys, I've got this gig, you guys want to work for me? All right, here's what I need from you. Poof. I give you your little frago, your little warning order, and send you on your way, because I know you guys can do it, you know, and like vice versa. But yeah, working for like a corporation
or a big agency,
like even just big agency, you know, even just modern like day stuff.
Even like I mean, you've arrived at a point where your experience and your competency in things, you get to call the shots now. Like, for instance, like, you're still a sheriff and you still work for the sheriff's office, but you said, hey, this is what I want to do. I want to be a trainer and a full-time SWAT guy.
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. We want you. You know what I mean?
I still don't know how I got here.
It's because you have the resume to support it, though.
For option, right, bro? It's not like his gym is successful, right?
Of course, yeah.
He's a good gym, he makes money. He's still a deputy, he's still on the SWAT team because he loves this.
He wants to.
You know, it's not because he needs. It's
want
different.
versus need are very different
I feel like
things.
I'm still doing my part. You know, I still have some of that public service,
dude.
desire in my blood.
You still can do some nice shit that normal people can't.
Yeah, I still get to carry explosives around and blow holes in walls and shit. But, but again, it kind of goes back to like the whole jiu-jitsu thing. The thing that I don't love anymore at 42, I don't love anymore going in the gym and fucking grinding every day hard. I like it sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I want to go in there and fucking let's go.
I'm right there with you.
But what I do love every day is introducing people to new jiu-jitsu and new techniques and rolling with all my students.
That's so much more noble than
so
just
much more
being for
gratifying,
yourself,
you know?
bro. Like
Yeah.
I feel the same, bro. Today, put somebody on the jiu-jitsu lifestyle, show the magic, and see that guy stick with it. You know, even if it's not my student, because that makes my heart pound. You know, it's like we're doing the Guns and Gis 002, right?
Yeah.
But bro, Guns and Gis 001 was one of the best experience of my life, bro.
100%.
Yeah.
Because I did exactly that, bro. I introduced jiu-jitsu for people, and it was crazy, but I introduced jiu-jitsu for people from white to black belt, and they all love it.
Yeah.
Right, bro? And it's cool to see that the black belt, the higher belts, got bumped with the course, with the camp, and the white belts was different because they fell in love for jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And most of them kept training after, bro.
Almost
and
all
keep
of them,
like in
I think.
touch with me,
Yeah.
showing pictures, telling things. You know, the other day one of the guys got like a stripe. You know, one of the guys found a new gene.
Yep.
And this and that.
One of the guys did a competition.
Bro,
Yeah.
and that's so much more, bro, because now train hard, I'm gonna change my life, right? Winning a ADCC or another world championship, it's cool, but it won't change anybody's life. Right. But introduce jiu-jitsu for people, bro. That's the biggest change.
absolutely.
Well, in
because
my-
not just that guy, bro. It's his family. It's his circle.
Yeah.
It's his community
And
around
it
him.
spreads, man, because now
Exactly,
he's
bro.
going to be talking about it to his neighbors and his friends, and then they start training jiu-jitsu, and it spreads, you know?
Exactly.
But both of you guys carry that vibe, and like we'll talk about it tonight with all the students because you're the firearms guy, you're the jiu-jitsu guy, and then I'm just hanging out basically.
The glue.
The glue.
You're the important guy. You're the most important guy. You're the most important guy
if
here,
you think
bro.
about what Joao just said, like white through black belt at Guns and Gis was like, whoa, this is fucking awesome. And yeah, obviously you're showing sound techniques, but it's also vibe. You're having fun. You're teaching guys how to be part of this and have fun.
And on the range happened the same.
And that's
thing.
what I'm saying.
We have
That's what I was
guys
gonna
who
say.
never shot before and have SWAT team guys.
Dude, what was
who
the
loved cards, bro.
what was the SWAT guy's name that could fucking, it was he was a fucking tack driver.
Yeah, he was really good, and God damn, I feel like such an asshole now. Because I want to, it's Tegan.
Tegan. Okay.
Tegan.
And so
My man Tegan.
I was
Bro.
going to say Keegan because I remember I had a student, kid student, Keegan. It's Tegan, though. Yeah, Tegan.
The problem is
And
he
that
doesn't use his
dude-
name on his Facebook, so suck, bro.
hey, and that in the Guns and Gis course, as we portray it, is an introduction to tactical shooting.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he is on a SWAT team with a ton of experience.
a good
he
shooter,
obviously knows how to shoot.
Yeah.
And he pulled you aside and was like, wow, like the way you break things down, the way you explain stuff, I want to fly you out and have you teach my SWAT team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So obviously people that are new, it's easy to impress people that are new. But both you guys had the black belts of your realms saying, wow, that was fucking amazing.
exactly.
And that's what's fucking like, that's what validates it.
Yep,
You
yep.
know?
When you can put together like the lowest level, the highest level, and show one thing and everybody love it, dude. I think it's you're going the right way, you know.
Yeah,
In the right
it's
path.
crazy now. Like, you know, a lot of people's success is based on their social media following and presence. You know?
Whoa.
Yeah. Hey, yeah. Granderson 33 now. But, you know, like we were talking about it earlier, like I don't have a big social media presence. I just started my own personal Instagram, and same thing. Like, imagine if you were posting or if I was posting all the time for the last several years, you know, like one of my biggest regrets is not taking a lot of pictures when I was working operationally overseas. And I got to do a lot of really cool shit, but it wasn't the time where we all carried these around.
Yeah.
And where we were always like, you weren't supposed to take pictures, man. Like, you know, or not only not supposed to, but like you're in it grinding, you're fighting, you're competing,
You
you're
don't even
training, or
remember
you
about
don't have time to think, ooh, let me take a picture, let me take a selfie, you know?
Bro,
And you miss out on that.
It makes us sound like fucking dinosaurs. Like my first few deployments to Afghanistan, and the same thing, like whatever pictures you take, they have to get cleared and like they can't have any OPSEC violations. But I brought like 2 of those disposable Kodak cameras where each one had 24 pictures.
Yeah.
So I was gone for 9 months and I got 48 pictures, which most of them are shit because you get one shot.
That's it.
You know, now you'll take 48 selfies.
doesn't autofocus.
just to get the right lighting and delete the rest of them.
And your
Right.
phone
You know?
start dragging.
Yeah, but no, it's true.
No memory.
And then you don't know, you have no idea until you redeploy home, drop them off at the fucking store.
That's right.
And your pictures will be ready in 10
Yeah,
days.
they develop them. Yeah, man. But, you know, like a lot of that stuff, like, you know, you don't get the notoriety that maybe, and that's, you know, I think that's the biggest thing, like going back to Guns and Gis for us is we need to have the voice, because we had black belts that were like, dude, that was awesome. We had guys who were shooter black belts.
Yeah.
Man, that was awesome. And then we had all brand new guys. And like one of the students from the last one attended another very, very, very popular course. And I'm not talking bad about it. I'm not going to mention it, but it's a very popular course. If you see it, you'll know the name. It's you know, and it's a similar thing. It's a shooting and grappling sort of self-defense sort of course run by a very famous person and a very capable person. You know, he's a black belt in Jiu Jitsu and he's a former special operations guy. And, you know, he just gave credit to the three of us and the way we ran the course and how much more organized it was, how much better the instruction was, how much better the layout was and everything. And he's like, you guys need to have as much notoriety as those guys.
But we're also starting from the bottom.
We are starting from the bottom.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like,
this number is 002 right now, about to start, you know, like, I think we're gonna get that, bro.
well, and I'll tell you,
003.
It's a great product.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, bro? It's a great idea. You know?
and I'm going to say the same thing to the students tonight.
It's being done right. That's the main thing, you know.
I think what separates us from other programs is like when people go to like survival based programs, it's red suit, they got a knife out, they're doing combat scenarios, and now you have to learn to survive. And there's a time and there's a place for that. And that stuff's good. And just like you said, I don't have anything bad to say about it. But I think what is a lot of people need is something that is sustainable. If you put a red man suit on and we do some fight for life scenario on a weekend, that's cool, right? You got a little bit of training and you got some experience, but where do you take that? When you go home, what do you do with that?
What did you actually learn? What capability did you gain other than, holy shit, I don't know what I'm doing?
Yeah, and maybe that gave you some perspective.
Right.
The holy shit, what am I doing? But our whole thing is we want to introduce people, and that's why our course, your enrollment fee comes with a gi. So when you leave here, all right, now I have to have this gi looking at me.
Judging.
It's sitting on the back of my chair. Exactly. I got my white belt, my gi right there.
You suck.
I Googled the surrounding academies. I know there's a place 10 minutes up the road. All right, let's go train. Yeah. That's what's going to keep people in the culture.
Yeah.
And
also we create something we didn't expect, bro. We create a little community.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So everybody's accountable.
I love the alumni page, dude.
If you become awesome. That guy that is not doing it, you become that guy. You know what I mean? So nobody wants to be that guy.
Dude, it's kind of forced accountability.
Know? And all the guys who did the course, number one, are training, are improving, are doing more courses, you know? And that's important, bro. It's like you say, it's not the thing like, okay, you learn, good, go home. So, but if you don't practice, you lose that.
Yeah.
Right, bro? It's like jiu-jitsu, it's hard to gain something from jiu-jitsu, but it's easy to lose, right, bro? You train 1 year, bro, you barely get a little better. You lose that in 3 weeks, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You lose that in a bad night of sleep, you know, in a bad dieting.
Blink of an eye.
Very fast, bro. So this thing of not just like give the course, but initiate the guy on this vibe, on the lifestyle of fighting, you know, and shooting. And it's not the guy like, oh, I did Guns and Gis, I'm ready for anything. No, I did Guns and Gis, and now, bro, I want to be ready for everything.
Yeah.
You know
now I need to go learn. Yeah. I need to really
you know what I mean?
Like,
That's the thing is the main thing for us, you know, like instill that sense, that feeling of, bro, look those guys, bro. They didn't become as good in 1 weekend. No. You know what I mean? It took like a lifetime. You know what I mean? And they have the time because jiu-jitsu, bro, it's easy. Come on, man. Yeah. All you need is 2 arms, 2 legs.
Yep.
Not even that. It's simple. You know? It's not easy.
Yeah, you know, exactly.
It's simple.
It's simple. It's not easy. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, it's the same thing with shooting. That's what we try to tell people. Like, you have to make all this part of your lifestyle. And I mean, we've all been doing this essentially as part of our lifestyle for 20 years. Roughly.
Yeah,
pretty much.
You know, whether it's the shooting combative tactical aspect or the jiu-jitsu aspect or of a mix of the both, you know, we've been doing this. You've been doing jiu-jitsu for how long?
18 years now.
18 years.
Which is fucking crazy.
It's funny how we mesh, right? But because you guys we are from 3 different backgrounds, right? Greg has been like a special force. You have been like a contractor, right? And I'm never been in the military, but I'm a fighter, right?
Yeah.
I fight for living. I fight to pay my bills, you know. And like I said before, like we cannot have boss, right? Bro, I fight for money. You know? Like I fight for money, bro. You know. And now I teach how to fight for money.
Yeah.
You know. And anyways, bro, it's funny how your life history is not too different than yours and mine. We're fighters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we're fighters.
The mentality is the same.
The mentality is the same. The mindset's the same. Even though you use different tools to defend and attack, but the mentality was always the same. You know, like the sense of you cannot back up. You know what I mean? Is the same. You know what I mean? Like you have to keep your mind focused. You have to. It is. Of course, I've never been in a gunfight. And must be fucking scary, you know what I mean? But the feeling after must be amazing too, just like a good fight, you know what I mean, bro?
I'll say this, just like a fight, like
You're not scared while you're in the
not
fight.
really scared while you're doing it. It's just
it just
is what it is.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you're getting, it's like same thing getting punched. Like when you're in a fight and you get punched, it doesn't really hurt.
No.
Like you don't really feel it,
right.
you know? And then afterwards, you're like, whoa, that was fucking epic. That was crazy, you
Right,
know?
yeah.
But like, you know, same thing. I was having this conversation with Mikey, one of my coaches, and a couple other guys in the gym one night. We were leaving the gym, and they were talking about fighting and everything. I said, dude, Mikey brought it up, but I was like, if you told me right now, hey, there's an ISIS dude living in a house right here, just a couple blocks away. He's planning an attack, and you need to go get him, or there is, a low-level pro MMA fighter, and there's a cage over there. You got to go in that cage and fight him. What would you do? I said, I'll go to the ISIS guy every fucking hand 10 out of 10 times, because that's what I feel more comfortable with.
Yeah.
That's my wheelhouse. Walking into a cage where I know death is not on the table, but I would be fucking terrified. You know, like I'm not as capable in that environment as I am in the other environment.
I remember when I went to France once, and I stayed there for a while, and then I have opportunity to go around, and I went to Omaha Beach, right, the day stage, where the Rangers took over the
Point du Hoc.
the Point du Hoc,
Yeah.
right? And then when I came back, bro, I was stunning. You know, I was like, bro, best trip ever. I've been in this place, you know, like Saving Private Ryan Beach, you know, like I've been there, you know, man. I could feel the vibe, you know, look into that ocean, look to those
Think what transpired right there.
Those shell, the holes on the ground, you know, made by the shells exploding. Bro, it was crazy. So when I came back, this dude used to train with us, Sergio Machado, which was a ranger. Now he's a police officer. And bro, I was there, and I was telling him, I was like, bro, I was looking from the bunker to the vastness of the ocean, and I could see the ships coming, bro. You know, and I'm like, dude, I wonder how that guy felt the day it happened.
Yeah,
looking exactly by the
sitting in that bunker
exactly
with the machine gun.
You know, and I asked him, I was like, bro, how did you feel? Riding helicopters, knowing that you're going to a gunfight, you're going to be delivered to fight.
Just focus.
And he's just like, I blank.
You just focus, flow state.
He's like,
you
I
just
blank.
go do.
I blank. I don't think about it. I just wait
Just
the time.
do.
And that's exactly how I felt about fighting.
Yeah.
Fights, MMA fights, street fights, you know, like you just go, bro. You know, like there's that fear, but you don't feel the fear. You feel just that thing you don't want to lose, right? You move forward, you know what I mean? And I think that's like what put us together on the same pool, you know? Like, bro, you're fighters. You have that sense of fighting, no matter, you know, it's...
Well, bro, I know a lot of guys in the military, like, they always wonder how they're going to react under fire or under stress. When shit hits the fan, how am I going to react? And then when it happens and nobody even really cares, it's like, oh, that was actually really easy. You know, like I went through some shit and it didn't really bother me at all because, again, like while it's happening, I mean, if you got fucked up, maybe you'd have a different perspective of it.
Yeah.
But like our first few ambushes came out unscathed. Team was good to go. Got back to the chow hall, and it's just joking and laughing about it, telling stories and shit, you know? But I think a lot of people think it's going to be this extremely stressful situation to the point where they're wondering if they're going to be able to react in a way that they should. And I just didn't see that. Maybe in the lower MOSs.
Yeah, and
I shouldn't say lower, but the non-combat focused MOSs.
Yeah. I'm sure people have those experiences, but I agree. I think those are the folks that were not as stress inoculated or prepared for warfare, for combat, for gunfights.
Yeah.
You know, and they're overwhelmed. Their senses are overwhelmed. You know, I'd be like taking, you know, an accountant off the street and throwing them into the UFC cage. You know, like,
yeah,
they'd be fucking completely overwhelmed and terrified versus an actual MMA fighter. So, Luke, what time are we at? 1:30. Oh, all right, cool.
Well, Joel's on his phone now.
Yeah, what's next? Hey, so real quick, let's go on. What's next for Joao Assis? Joao. Joao.
Joao.
Right now, I'm the point of my life where I'm taking care of my white belts. You know, my white belts are getting better, so I have to improve my game again. You know what I mean? I have to make everybody train really well. You know, so. You know, bro, the gym never ends. You know, the gym you never end finishing your curriculum. The curriculum changes, always evolving because people evolve.
And Jiu Jitsu evolves too.
Exactly.
Jiu Jitsu is changing.
So right now, bro, I'm running my gym. I'm so happy running my gym. You know, bro, it's doing good. It's prospering. You know. I have Guns and Gis, which I fucking love, you know, like I really enjoy my time here doing things, enjoy guys, you know how it goes.
Yeah.
I still like lifting, still training every day. Just once I find like a where I can put a room on my schedule to train and rest and do the thing right in order to compete and win, I'm down, you know. That's my thing. Like I don't want to even like retire. You know what I mean? Right. I'm never gonna retire.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. So last year we were at PANS together, you and I, and then the three of us were at Masters Worlds together. And you kind of like almost came out of retirement. You hadn't competed in 3 years, right? Got over your neck, you were healthy again, and you killed it at PANS.
Right.
Worlds, neither of us had the result. None three of us didn't have the results we wanted, but that's part of.
We didn't even talk about it afterwards.
But that's part of competing. You know, that's part of competing. And a different day could have been a different opponent, could have been a different result. Exactly. But you know, we're talking about. So I'm signed up for PANS. He said he's gonna sign up. So
is this a way of putting me on the spot? On
yeah,
there?
Bro, but you know, there's things that happen, right, bro? You remember like last year, Pan Am's. Fortunately, you were able to train more. Yeah. But by the world's time, bro, was all the gyms closing and this and that, bro. Checkmate close. Yeah. I couldn't train. Like I could train with my students. That's what I did. But you know, I couldn't lift and be the animal and go there and crush. You know. Yeah. I trained like a little bit, you know, and went. But now that things are changing, you know, everything's kind of looking like.
But bro, maybe that's a good lesson. You know why? Because the last 12 months have been the most prosperous of all time for all three of our academies.
For sure.
Yeah.
Right? For sure. It forced us.
Not just inside the academy, but overall.
Overall,
you know,
dude.
Man.
And it kind of, the circumstances that fucking life threw at everybody fucked a lot of people up. Yep. But we were like, you know what? We're going to fucking persevere through this. And I talk about it all the time. Courage gets rewarded. And because we opened our academies up and we started growing
and making the right alliances, right?
Yeah.
You have amazing allies here, bro. You know what I mean? I know that I can count on you on anything. If the zombies start attacking us, I know I can count with you. If I have any problem, I can call.
In this house, actually, that's where we're coming.
That's what I do. You know? I have my mind's going nuts. I call you guys.
Yeah, dude. But that's cool. Like, you know, I fucking love that. You know, and having like, you know, going back again last night at the house, my kids right away. Mr. Joao, Mr. Greg, hey, you want to see this? Hey, you want to see this? Like, they're so fired up to have you guys here. Awesome. And they recognize other alpha males like, this is my tribe. These are my people.
Exactly,
That's fucking
bro.
awesome.
Exactly.
And we have that, you know, it's cool.
Jackson's already talking about opening a jiu-jitsu academy
Oh,
one
dude,
day.
he's fired. The kid's fired
He's
up.
9.
Man. 9 years old, man.
That's fucking rad.
Crazy.
dude.
9 years old. He's been training for a little over 4 years. Pretty much 6 days a week for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the kid doesn't take many days off, and you know, I keep it fun for him. I try not to.
No, bro, you know, it's crazy. In a few years, you're going to look all these pictures like, dude, my little dude's been on the gym forever, bro.
know, man.
You know, that's happening with me now because Facebook all the time
Update
remember
the memories.
Yeah.
Bro, I
see
remember.
Dora is small, like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, dude, she's there forever,
Bro,
yeah.
you know what I was actually just thinking about not too long ago was when everybody would go to the pyramid for the world championship.
Yeah.
All your guys' kids, because I'd always see Dora with like this herd of kids
Yeah.
running around the pyramid. You wouldn't see them for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're in a fucking building with thousands of murderers.
Yeah.
Your kids are safe.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
And so the kids would just go do their thing all day.
Yeah.
And there's just a herd of little like Brazilian kids.
I remember my ex-wife like, where's Dora? I'm like, oh man, let me find out. Let me go around. You know?
Yeah, I don't know. She's somewhere.
Yeah.
It's fucking
Yeah,
rad,
that's
dude.
cool. Yeah, I love having my kids growing up in the academy.
It's just right, bro. It's the right mindset. It's
Yeah.
a healthy mindset. You know, it's just right.
Especially when you start to see, like, my daughters have only been all in with jiu-jitsu for maybe a year now, right? And then when you see that moment, like I think, I don't know if I've told the story on the podcast before, but my daughter's 12 and there's a 14-year-old boy
Yeah, I remember.
in her class that he's the tough guy in class. And I've actually been making him train with adults now too lately because he's a big kid for his age. And I was like, hey, if you can catch him, I'm gonna give you $100. Right? And bro,
She's out for
I don't do
fun.
that with my daughter because probably gonna lose money.
well, dude, I literally thought it would be years because, I mean, dude, he's 2 years older than her and he's better than her. I thought it'd be years. And dude, the other day they were sparring and she got this fire in her eyes and hit him with a double, and there was a scramble and threw a rear naked choke and got him. And I was like, dude, and it literally, bro, I'm not kidding. It literally made me well up a little bit inside. I was like, my little girl just
dude.
fucking choked basically a man out,
Yeah.
you know? But it's not just the fact that she won. It's the fact that like I saw this fire in her. She wanted to do something, and then she had the capability to do it.
then she did,
And she
yeah.
did it, dude. And that's our little girls, right? And most people go their whole life without ever being able to put that together.
To feel that feeling of
Yeah.
winning, you know, like real challenge that nobody made up for you, you know? Like,
Our kids are thrust into adversity daily.
Yeah.
We're forcing them into manufactured adversity, but
bro,
it still
also
provides the
comes with
same
that mentality
results.
that jiu-jitsu gives you that, you know, you lose, but it's not okay.
It's not the end of the world.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world, but you're fighting for the win, you know?
And dude, we run our little kids class, like the equivalent of your Padawans, twice in a row. Because we got so many students now, right? So we tell parents you can choose 4:30 or 5:30, but it's the same class, right? But my daughter, she's like, well, we own the gym, so I get to do both. She wants to do both classes back to back, you know? And it's like just little shit like that. It's like,
Yeah,
dude, it
man,
makes me
it's
fucking
all the
happy.
difference, bro.
Yeah.
My daughter's like that too, bro. She trains like sometimes like she helped me with the kids. I pay her, you know, like to give her that sense of work, you know, the responsibility, you know. And bro, she stays for another two trainings, you know. It's like 2-3 trainings a day, bro. She's 12.
Yeah, I give it 3 more years until Jackson's training the adult class. I figure about 12 years old, Jackson will be training with the adults.
No, bro,
'cause
totally.
He'll
probably.
have been training for like almost 8 years.
My daughter,
You
my
know?
daughter has been training since she's 4.
Yeah, same as Jackson.
She's 12 now, so it's been 8 years.
Yeah.
And
Dude,
bro,
10 years to black belt.
No, man.
You know what I'm saying?
You know, it's crazy, bro. She already trained with adults. She's the same size of the adults, woman. And bro, it's crazy to see a 12-year-old beating up cops.
Yeah.
You know, like adult cops, bro. It's crazy. But I don't take I don't take the props. I don't take the props for her. It's fucking jiu-jitsu, bro.
Yeah, it's
You know what I mean?
jiu-jitsu,
It's jiu-jitsu, bro. It's not us. It's jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu works, you know what I mean?
Well, and it's her.
It's her because she
Put
she
the work in.
trains,
Yeah, no,
puts
put
the
the
work
work in, you know? Because, I mean, I know you had expectation that Dora was going to train, right?
Oh yeah.
Like, he's like, oh, no. Because when I told you, like, because I have 3 daughters, 2 of them train, 1 of them doesn't. And you're like, bro, what the fuck, dude? You know? And then you told me, I remember one time you said, hey, like 1 in 3 girls before they're 21 get sexually assaulted.
Yes.
That's why our girls need to
That's
train.
reality.
And
you know?
have 3 girls. Do the math,
Exactly.
you know,
Do the
like-
fucking math, right? So hopefully, statistically, it ends up happening to one of my girls that trains.
Although, well, your middle one's a savage though too.
Well, and that's the
she's
thing.
one that doesn't- she's mean.
Well, so
man.
here's,
can
and
be
she
like-
tells me all the
But
time.
most of those girls that happen, they don't have dads like you.
Yeah.
They don't have sisters like those.
Well, and so that's why I don't want to make my middle daughter do it, because she is the athletic freak of the family.
Yeah.
And she loves gymnastics, right? And so I'm like, okay, if I don't force her to, but she keeps building her body and becoming strong and flexible
Yeah.
and can do all her back bend kickovers and shit, that when she does decide to get the jiu-jitsu bug, her body's going to be ready.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You
And
know?
I'm sure she's gonna feel like everybody else felt like, why I didn't start before?
Yeah.
You know, I didn't start earlier.
When her little sister starts beating her up a little bit in a
That's
couple
probably
years,
what- yeah.
That's gonna be the fire, because that's what fired Gemma up.
Oh, okay.
Gemma always wanted to do the little Padawans class, and she never. And this new girl came and joined the gym, and she's 2 years older than Gemma, but she's really small, but she's super athletic and she's feisty. And Gemma like had her like alpha female status in the gym challenged. You could see it, dude. Little 6-year-old, you know, little cute little girl is like all of a sudden, wait, there's another like alpha female girl in the, no way, I can't
That's
have
so
this.
fucking
And
hilarious,
dude. The two of
dude.
them train hard now.
Their little brains are basically our brains.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
saying,
yeah.
dude?
Absolutely.
It's the same emotions.
We're just animals, bro. That's all
course
we
we
are.
are,
We're just
dude.
fucking animals, all of us, in one way or another, you know? And yeah, so now she's training hard because she doesn't want this other little girl to beat her or be
catch up,
tougher
right?
or be better.
Yep.
So
That was my mindset my whole career, bro. I don't want nobody, all my friends train more than me, you know? Like, if they were training and knew and I wasn't there and they didn't call me, oh my God, bro. I
know.
was going,
What
I'm
the
like,
fuck, dude?
What are you thinking? You're crazy. What do you want? You
I'm
know,
just,
like,
I'm just
dude,
kind of
come
bummed
train.
out that I'm in my 40s now because I got all these 20-something-year-old blue belts and purple belts, you know, and Eric, and brown belt, he's 26 or 27. And they're all gunning for my ass.
Yeah,
you know?
bro.
And they're gonna catch me.
And dude,
it's just a matter
It
of
will
time.
happen. You have
That's a
that-
whole nother podcast because
But that's just the
I'm
the way of
feeling it.
life, right?
Yeah.
Bro? If this is happening, perfect, because that's the way.
That is the way of life, absolutely.
To be.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm feeling it, and I
But
don't really like it that much.
but it's becoming clear that my role in the gym is shifting dramatically.
absolutely.
Because like, dude, like right now, for instance, ever since I did Murph 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, my hips have been aching. I've never had hips ache. But it's almost, there's always something that hurts now.
Oh, yeah.
It used to be like, hey, you gotta get banged up or you get hurt or you pull this, you nurse it for a little bit or you don't.
Yeah.
And then in a couple weeks you're good. And then you're good until you get injured next time.
Right.
I'm always injured now.
always,
There's always something that fucking
almost
hurts.
every other day.
Yep.
There's something
Oh,
that's.
yeah, yeah.
And now it's like, okay, I don't want to do death rounds with you guys every single night.
Right.
And sometimes my guy's like, oh man, because I built that culture. I'm going to be in the fucking Lion's Den hammering
And
with you
were the
guys.
head. You were the leader of
Yeah.
that. You know, like you were the lead enforcer.
But I'll tell you what, when, at least for me, I'm sure both you guys have experienced this, when I sit out during rotation or during rounds and you watch it all and you take it all in, it's so much more beneficial
Oh, yeah.
for the gym and for the team.
yeah.
Because I'm not in the mix with the guys. I'm detached, getting a perspective of what's happening overall.
Yeah, and you're able to kind of fault check and coach and.
That's what I'm saying.
I-
Yeah.
Monday, I think it was Monday, you know, through my classes because Jeremy was down and we were starting our pre-camp. So we are live drilling, just fast, no muscle, but fast drilling for the whole class. And I gave my speech that I do before every camp. I go, guys, gals, I apologize. We're getting ready to go into camp for PANS. And what that means for like the next 8 weeks, next 2 months, is that you guys take a little bit of the back seat because we need to get our training in. So rather than walking around and coaching and focusing on all you guys, we're going to be in the mix, getting our rounds and drilling, doing the training we need to do. It means you guys take a back seat a little bit for 8 weeks, but if you want us to go win medals at PANS.
It's a balancing act. You know what I'm saying? It's a balancing act.
It's a team thing. Absolutely. It's a balancing act. So, and there will be my rest days that I'll still be in the gym coaching, but I'll be rest days, and then they'll get that. But, when you enter that camp, you got to be a little selfish, Otherwise,
I know,
bro,
bro,
not going to get better.
When you're a competitor or when you're on the competition stage, you have to be selfish, bro.
Gotta focus,
you have
man.
to. I tell this, because now we have the competition class for the teenagers, right? And I tell that to the guys, man. I understand you want to come here, you don't want to be a dick. Go too hard on someone who's not too good, but you have to go too hard on anyone.
Yeah.
That's the mindset, the competition mindset.
Yeah.
If the guy is not as good as you should smash, because that's the mindset. It's not just the physicality of the thing, but it's the drive, mentality,
the timing,
exactly,
the speed,
bro.
go.
You're only gonna win if you because if you see the guy suffering and struggling, you go for the finish. Yeah. You don't go, you slow down because the guy's suffering. Fuck it.
Go for the kill.
Yeah.
It's not your fault. You should have trained more, and you go for the kill. But that's the competition mindset. You know what I mean? Like, you don't teach that day one. No. You wait till the person get to the stage where they need to be more aggressive, more, efficient, and that's all in the mindset. Because in the beginning, it's all physical, right? It's movement, it's mobility, little by little. But at some point, it's shit. It's not acting on the body anymore, but it's acting on the mind, And I think that's like something you just told, like, you sit and see the guys, and then you can see how you were acting on their minds.
Yeah.
Right? And you can do this, do that. And you can help 10 people at once instead of just rolling one guy and helping him move better, Of course, there's the times where you want to get one guy and like, dude, check this out. Or not. You just want to, all right, man, I'm going to stay out because I want to see you acting and I'm going to be in your mind. Let's see if you can, if you can respond, And sometimes greatly you have those dudes that, bro, do everything you say and win. Yeah. That's crazy.
All right. Well, I think we should wrap this up.
Yeah, we're at 1 hour and 45.
And we got Guns and Gis. What do we call it? In briefing.
Yeah, we got our in brief this evening for class 002.
And then we get started tomorrow morning.
They'll get their issued gear.
Oh, I should go grab all that
stuff.
Yeah,
and we got to do all that. So
yeah,
we got
Guns and Gis
work.
class 002 is getting some cured nutrition CBD.
Yeah.
Some Paleo Valley grass-fed beef steak. And some Element recharge.
And we have to go set up our new Exumbris gun belts.
That's right.
Exumbris. Did I say that right? Exumbris.
You tell me.
Yeah, Exumbris Designs gun belts. We got to go set those up. And I know we got some like pays to be a winner swag from the guys at Exumbris and from 1350 Millwork. So we got to go. We got some work to do.
And the last thing we'll say is tentatively class 003.
Looking at third week of.
Because people always say, I want to go to the next one. I want to go to the next one. October
22, 23, 24.
22, 23, 24.
So
you're ready.
We're going to be announcing that soon.
And I know that's a ways out, but that's because our facilities are in New Orleans.
And it's hot as fuck.
And it's already hot as fuck for me coming from Seattle.
From the Northwest.
Yeah, it's all muggy and hot.
Pacific Northwest.
So yeah, I don't think anyone outside of people that live in the dirty South want to have any part of New Orleans in August.
Also, real quick, let's talk about how far out it is, right? So we're in May now, all right? End of October. This is a pretty hard camp, right? It's fairly long days. We are spending basically 7 hours a day doing fairly strenuous, arduous physical activity.
Yep.
Whether it's the 3 hours on the range in the morning or the 3 hours in the academy in the afternoon. This is your time. If you sign up, once we open registration, use this time to get in better shape, right? To drop some of that weight you may have gained, to procure your ammo,
Yep.
you know, to get your gear squared away. And don't just waste the time, sign up, register, wait. And then a week out go, oh shit, I don't have a good gun belt or a holster, or I should have asked those guys. Ask us ahead of time, shoot emails, and get yourself use these next few months as for proper prior preparation.
Buy yourself a Glock 19. So you don't show up with a SIG or some other bullshit.
Yeah, it was another comment. But yes.
California, right?
Yeah.
Since the last camp, bro, the day after I got home, I bought a gun. I still don't have the gun now, bro. The guns never show up.
So what do you mean? I don't understand. Never showed up.
Bro, because I think nowadays all the gun shops are sold out. You know?
Oh, I see.
So I bought online.
So you basically bought one that's on back order.
Yeah, pretty much. So I've been with.
You should have went to
but
Gun
somebody
Broker.
told me that would take a month, but it's been a couple. You know, so I'm like, oh, I don't know.
So yeah, so it could take time to get your ammo. It could take time to get your gear, holsters. Like holsters and gun belts that we recommend aren't something you just go into a store and buy. It's something you got to order online.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff's made to order, so it could take 8 to 10 weeks to get it in.
And the nice safari lands that we like.
Yep.
That's a prime example of that.
Yeah,
if you wait, good luck.
That's right. It takes
You
time.
know?
So sign up for the camp and start getting your shit together. Get your kit ready. Get your gun belt ready. Get your health and fitness ready. And then show up here ready to make the most out of the experience in the camp. Because it is an experience. It's not just a class. This isn't just a course. We call it an immersion camp, because you're basically like you're part of our tribe for 3 days.
Yeah.
And you're
We're doing dinners. We're drinking beers.
That's right. Around the bonfire.
Maybe we'll pass a joint around this time.
Not me, but
Guns, Gis, and Whiskey. Yeah. the nickname.
So,
All right. Well, cool, man. I appreciate it.
Sounds good,
And
guys. Thank you so much for having me.
And we'll do it again, dude.
Again, we planned this podcast like 10 times. What happened finally?
So thanks for joining us at Endless Endeavor Podcast with your host, Greg Lapin, and your co-host, Greg Anderson.
Out.